Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo Namaha Uttaram Yat Samudrasya Himadreschaiva Dakshinam Varsham Tad Bharatam Nama Bharati Yatra Santatihi. Welcome to all for this session on Skanda Purana to chapter 16 of Kaumarika Khanda under the Maheshwara Khanda. In the previous chapter, we saw the birth of Taraka to Vajranga and Varangi as a son who will go into defeat the Devas. Hitaraka performed a great penance and pleased Brahma, who and asked for the boon that he should never be able to killed. But Brahma told him that whoever has taken the birth will have to die one day or the other. So he asked him to choose an alternative boon. Finally, Taraka asked for the boon where he can only be killed by an infant of 7 days, a son, I mean, a boy of 7 days. And then the Taraka became the most invincible among the Daityas. He called the meeting of all the Daityas and told them his plan to capture the Devaloka after defeating the Devas. Taraka said, deluded by the kingdom that resembles a water bubble, by women, by dyes, and by drinks, a man abandons or wastes his manliness even after taking birth here. There is no doubt about this that his life is useless to the end of the Kalpa. A man who does not fulfill the desire of his mother and father, who does not make his kinsmen free from grief, and who does not earn excellent fame and honor, is no better than a dead man in this world, though he might have been born and be alive. Hence, for the conquest of the chiefs of immortal ones, that is the Devas, and for taking away the royal glory of the three worlds immediately, let my chariot of 8 wheels be yoked, and my army, consisting of multitudes of invincible Daityas, be got ready. Let my banner with golden staff and silken cloth be made ready. Let my umbrella fitted with clusters of pearls be kept ready. Today I shall untie the braided and ornamented tresses of celestial women in the same manner as a monkey, because in the past Devendra, in the form of monkey, had teased the mother of Taraka, the Varangi. So, in the same manner, now Taraka will do the same thing to all the women of the Devas. So, after destroying the Devas, Narada, who was telling this story to Arjuna, he continued, on hearing the words of Taraka, a Danava named Grasana, who was the commander in chief of the king of Daityas, did so without any delay. Sounding the war drum majestically, he hurriedly summoned all the Daityas together and got ready the chariot of the intelligent king of Daityas. He got the chariot yoked with 1,000 Garudas who were comparable to the Garuda in luster. They were indeed the sons of Suparna, means the Garuda, who were stationed in the caves of Meru. The king of Daityas conquered them and made them his vehicle. That chariot had 8 times 8, that is totally 8 into 8, 64 wheels. It extended to 4 yojanas. It had been equipped with many sports apartments. It was very charming due to vocal and instrumental music. When it was finally fitted, it appeared to be like a Gandharva city. 10 Daityas of fierce exploits came there, each accompanied by a crores of followers. There were many others too who were ready for war. Their leaders were Jambha, Kujambha was next to him. The others were Mahisa, Kunjara, Mesa, Kalanemi, Nimi, Manthana, Jambhaka, Sumbha. Thus there were 10 great Daityas as their chiefs. All the leading Daityas had huge mountain like bodies and were very fierce in exploits. They had different kinds of weapons. They were masters of various kinds of weapons and missiles. The flagstaff of Taraka was highly terrifying with its many forms. Sometimes it appeared like a terrible Rakshasa, in some places like a Pishacha, crow, and vulture. Thus, that flagstaff has seen as one of various forms. Grasana, the commander in chief, shone with the emblem of a crocodile on his flag. The face of Pishacha was the emblem of Jambha. It was made of iron. There was a symbol of donkey shaking its tail on the flag of Kujambha. A lustrous golden figure of jackal shone as the emblem of Mahisa. Vulture was the emblem of Kunjara. That of Mesa was Rakshasa. Mahakala was the emblem of Kalanemi. Big whale was the emblem of Nimi. That of Manthana Rakshasi, and that of Jambhaka was crow. Big wolf was the symbol of Shumbha. Such were the flag that shone. The emblem on the flags of others were of various sizes and designs. The chariot of Grasana was fitted with 100 swift-footed tigers with gold necklaces, and it shone. It had the loud sound of great clouds. 100 lions were yoked to the chariot of Jambha. The chariot of Kujambha was fitted with donkeys having the faces of Pishachas. That of Mahisa was as many camels, and that of Gaja was fitted with as many horses. The chariot of Mesha was fitted with terrible panthers, that of Kalanemi with elephants. Nimi was seated on a mountain supported by 4 elephants which resembled huge clouds which had the fragrance of ichor, and each of which had 4 curved teeth. The great Daitya named Manthana shone on a black horse 100 hastas long, which had golden ornaments, which had been rendered splendid by a cluster of white chauris, and which had flower garland round its neck. It had a noose in his hand. Jambhaka had mounted a camel that had a necklace of twinkling bells. The Danava named Shumbha was riding on a great cloud named Kalamancha, showering at the proper time. Other Danava warriors had different kinds of vehicles and weapons. They had fierce armors of variegated colors and shapes. They were adorned with earrings and turbans. They had different kinds of upper garments, garlands, and ornaments. They had smeared different kinds of unguents and sweet scents. They were being eulogized by hundreds of bards and panegyrists. Great and powerful warriors went ahead with different retinues to the accompaniment of different kinds of musical instruments. In that army, there were many warriors and soldiers engrossed in listening to various kinds of heroic stories. That army of the lion among Daityas was seen to be terrible in its form. The dust particles of the ground embraced or covered the horses, the chariots, and the foot soldiers. The infuriated lord of Daityas, seated in his great chariot with his 10 assistant Daityas, shone like the great lord with 10 arms, actively inclined to destroy the universe. He marched towards Suras. In the meantime, on seeing that army of the Danavas, the wind god, the messenger of Devas, went to the heavenly abode of Suras in order to report the matter to Indra. After going to the divine assembly of the noble souled Mahendra, he reported the matter on hand in the presence of the Devas. On hearing that, the highly intelligent king of Devas shut eyes to consider the gravity of the report, and at proper time spoke these words to Brahaspati, his preceptor. Indra said, "Oh, a great clash of Devas and Danavas is imminent. In this context, tell me what should be done. Advise the means based and developed in good policy. On hearing these words of Mahendra, the Lord of Words, the liberal minded Brahaspati of exalted magnificence replied. Brahaspati said, O most excellent one among Suras, in the case of those who wish to secure victory over the army consisting of 4 units, it is declared by Shastras that the policy of great prudence begins with Shaman, that is peace, Sama. This is the eternal position. Sama are peaceful negotiations, Dana, gift or bribe, Bheda, sowing dissension in the enemy's party, and the fourth is Danda, the punishment or the actual attack. These expedients, as a wise policy, are to be employed one by one at the proper time and place. The decisive conclusion in this manner is that Sama should be employed in regards to noble persons of good quality. Dana, that is basically the discussion or anything to resolve it through the discussion, can only be done with people of noble quality. Dana should be employed in regard to greedy persons, and Bheda in regard to persons who are frightened and those who doubt and hesitate. Danda should be used always in the case of vicious persons, those who create terror among the people, those who always are hell bent upon creating the fear among the people, and have no noble qualities at all, and no greed or nothing, and only interested in terrorizing the people. The only way is to play the danda. Sama has no place in regard to the vicious Daityas because they are devoid of good qualities. What have they to do with wealth and glory since they are in affluent condition? They are considered to be abhedyas, above sowing dissension even by God Brahma on account of their cross character. It is a generic affinity or sense of community. That is, the people who have that sense of community, who fought on the basis of they all belongs to one particular community, it is difficult to apply even the Bheda also because they cannot be divided among themselves. They are all always united and they do not have any noble character, so there is no point in discussing with them. And they may not be interested in any wealth of this world, so there is no point in bribing them to. So the only way is to apply the danda, attack on them, and finish them. So the only expedient, if you please, is to use in this case is danda. A wicked man is never capable of becoming a good man. Whether he is fondled or protected well, he never leaves off his natural characteristics. It is thus that my intellect thinks you can do whatever you decide. On being told thus, the thousand eyed Lord Indra said, It is like this alone. After pondering over what should be done, he addressed the assembly of the immortal ones. O dweller of heaven, listen to my words with respect. All of you are partakers of your share in the sacrifices. You are the persons liked by good people and are of Sattvika type. You abide by your own respective positions and are always engaged in protecting the universe. For some reason, the lords of Danavas harass you. Sama and other expedients are not applicable in their case. Let Danda alone be employed. Let the mind and the intellect be directed towards war. Let the army be gathered together. Let the weapons be invoked. Let the deities of weapons be worshipped. On being thus addressed, those who were prominent among Devas got themselves accounted and decorating themselves with gold. They became ready with 10,000 horses. Let my Amaras, the Devas, equip and deploy. This is what Indra is announcing. Let all Devas equip and deploy their vehicles and aerial cars. O Devas, Start immediately after appointing Yama as the commander in chief. You all possess many wonderful qualities and are unvanquishable to Devas and Danavas. The chariot of Mahendra got properly yoked by Matali was also seen. Mounted on a buffalo, Yama occupied a place in the front line of the army. He was surrounded on all sides by groups having fierce tinkling bells. Hutashana, that is the fire god, was seated on a ram with a javelin in his hand. He had filled the whole sky with bright flames as at the time of the Kalpa period, that is the end of the world, as though it is the end of the world. Pavana, that is the wind god, was seated on a great bear with a goad in his hand. His terrific speed then was extremely enhanced. He was also seen in the front line of the army. The Lord of Waters himself was seated on a big serpent. The hero holding a great nose was present in the army. Dhanadhyaksha, that is Kubera, moved about in a divine chariot to which men had been yoked. He had an iron club in his hand in the battlefield. He roared like a great lion. Nirarati, the lord of Rakshasas, was seen in the chariot fitted with horses having the faces of Rakshasas. He had a bow in his hand. He was seen surrounded by groups of Rakshasas. He had a loud sound. The moon god, the sun god, Ashwins, Vasus, and deities called Sadhyas, Vishvedevas, and Rudras all stood ready for the battle. Gandharvas were seen with Vishwavasu at the head. They had golden stools and gold embroidered upper garments. Their armors, weapons, and emblems were of various colors and sizes. Similarly, the Rakshasas of red hair were seen with vulture as their emblem on their flags. They had red upper garments and iron ornaments without any impurities. Crores of yakshas, beginning with Manibhadra, were seen clad in black garments. They were great warriors with terrible ashanis, that is thunderbolts, in their hands. Terrible pishachas, that is a ghost, shown there with copper covered flagstaffs with all as the emblem. Panther skin constituted their garments. They had great impetuosity and energy. Similarly, Kinnaras stood there ready for battle with white garments and white silk banner. Most of them had elephants in rut for their vehicles. The gentle flag of the Lord of Oceans shone with a swan for its emblem. It was beautified with clusters of pearls and had the luster of pearl necklace. The lofty flagstaff of Dhanada, that is Kubera, with its pinnacle made of great precious stone ruby, appeared as though it was desirous of going into the sky. The great flagstaff of Yama was made of black iron. Crow was its emblem. On the flag of the Lord of Rakshasas, that is Nirarati, was a face of a ghost. The moon god and the sun god of unmeasured splendor had respectively gold and lion for their emblems. The flag of Ashwins had the emblem of pitcher of variegated colors. Elephant in golden lines adorned with precious gems was the emblem on the flag of Indra. It was fixed with along with white chowries, the flags of others too of various forms shown in battle. That army of king of Devas, including serpents, yakshas, gandharvas, nagas, and the night walkers, appeared very invincible. The groups of great devas numbered 33 crores. The enemy of Paka, that is basically Indra, was seated on his elephant Airavata. It had the luster and the height of the Himalaya mountain. It had white chauris on its ears. It had a beautiful and pure garland of golden lotuses. There was fascinating and brilliant saffron mark, its sportingly trumpeted from cheek. Indra was seated on it. The extremely powerful lord had garments of exceptional beauty and very many varieties of colors. He was adorned with a vast canopy above with diamonds studded therein. He had armlets fitted on either arm. He had 1,000 eyes. He was panegyrized by thousands of bards and panegyrists. Thus Indra appeared splendid in heaven. Thus ended chapter 16 of Kaumarika Khanda under the Maheshwara Khanda in Skanda Purana. Thus, the armies of the Devas under the leadership of Indra, with Yama as the front bearer, and the armies of the Daityas under the leadership of Taraka, with Grasana at its front, they were ready to face each other. Namaste Sharada Devi, Kashmira Puravasini, Twamaham Prarthaye Nityam, Vidya Danancha Dehime. Bye.